Welcome back to ARC Tutorials. This is CSS full tutorial series for absolute beginners. In the last episode we learned about CSS pseudo classes. That's yet another important I would say aspect of CSS that you should be knowing. Before that I covered CSS combinators, which are extremely critical especially when you're working on a day-to-day basis in UI. Today we are learning about CSS pseudo elements. Alright, so this is part 3 of the series. Make sure that you have gone through all the previous episodes in order to have your learning continuity and master CSS with me. This is part 23. Today we are learning about CSS pseudo elements. A CSS pseudo element is used to style specified parts of an element, which means it's written with double colon, and you can do a lot of stuff like say first line, first letter, selection, marker, before, after, and much more. Alright, but as a beginner, don't try to learn all the things in one sitting or one go. It won't help you. The idea is to learn few, master them, and get used to how they behave, and then learn deeper. Okay, that would be my advice to you. That being said, I'm going to show you a lot of variations on this in hands-on. Let's get started. I'm continuing to use the same file that we have created for CSS combinator, because these are all related content, so it makes sense to learn them together. Alright, let's get back to the code. The first thing I'll do is, one of the most common use cases is when you select some text in a web page, you will see they are in different color, right? So you can do that with a pseudo element called selection. On selection, we'll say color should be white and background color should be blue. So when you now select, now you can see it's whenever you try to select, it will have white color font text color and blue color background. So similarly you can change it to anything that you would like. That's one of the first ones. Then I'll use some more. um, Alright, let me create a new one and to make it more professional and look more cool. Let's say you're building a quotation kind of a thing. Okay, uh, never ventured, never gained. Okay, so that's, I don't know who wrote this quotation, but if you know, do let me know in the comment section. So if first I am making it all lowercase. Okay, just a simple code, right? Nothing great. So in the styling I'm going to say dot quote, and this is where I can do like this, and I can say before, uh, let's say content should be start. Okay, and then I can also say color should be green. Okay, so let's see that. So now you can see before the content there is a asterisk. See that? Let me increase the font. That means what needs to come in front of the content. Okay, this is a text quote, and in before, that's why we said before, right? Before the quote there is should be a asterisk, but you can also put something like uh, right, double quotes, etc., whatever, right? That's for before. Similarly you can also do it for after, and you can say here after, once it is done, the content should be slash, again close the double quotes. So you can see here now it looks like a quotation, right? Let me increase the font size. I'm sure now you are pro and confident in all of this. So you can see here I'm adding these two double quotes from CSS, right? One is through before content, one is through after content. That's the first use case I want to show you. The next one I'll show you is, let's say you have multi-line comment. Some more content here, and okay, and inside the container I can say container first line should be font size 40 pixel. So see line, the first line, this one is 40 pixel now. So I can target the first line, or like if you are designing a CMS or something and you want to style only the first line, you can use that, right? Similarly, you can use it in paragraph also. All right. Now let's say you have a more complex paragraph. Now, when I mean by more complex, I mean by data. Okay. So let's say you have a lot of lengthy thing. Right? Now here you see. Now the first line I have said that of the container. Now instead I'm going to make it the paragraph. Right. So I'm using an element instead of a class. Output is same because it's starting at the container, right? So find a paragraph and the first line of that should be 40 pixel. Now if you copy this and go and paste it after our code, that will also be first line because we just gave a generic combinator which says apply to all the paragraphs, right? That's why we said paragraph colon colon first line means make the first line font size 40 pixel. Similarly, you can also say in the paragraph you want the first letter to be text transform uppercase. So first letter, right? Now I'm going to make it small. See, M S M. I have made it all small, right? But now since I gave it in the code, I'll remove this just to show you how it looks. So see here, these are not uppercase, right? So when I add that and say paragraph colon colon first letter text transform uppercase, the first character alphabet will automatically become uppercase. Okay, that's for the first letter and first line. Okay, we saw selection, we saw first line, we saw first letter, we saw after, before, selection, right? Let's do marker. Okay, you can easily do that also, and I'm going to show you some more of those examples. Say li marker, and in this we can say content, say dot, and I'm going to say color is blue. Okay, now let's refresh. Now you can see content, you can see here dot in front of that, right? So you can clearly see that the content marker, that is the dot, right? This is nothing but the list item, right? If I remove this, you can see the difference clearly. You see here these are big bullet list. Okay, keep an eye on this one. Now I'm saying I'm making it a small, or I can even say asterisk, right? Or sorry, tilde or ampersand. So see now the marker has changed from bullet list to ampersand, right? So this is yet another example where you can change and customize the type of marker you want. Okay, and this is applicable to the list elements, right? Where you have these predefined marker. The last I want to show you is say placeholder, right? Let's say we have input, and let's add a placeholder and say enter email address. Now I have one placeholder here for the input element which says enter email address. Now in the input I can also customize, and I can say input placeholder, I'll say color should be light, like grayish kind of color, right? So now you see it has become lightish gray. Or just if you want to see it in visual, I am making it red, so you can see here the placeholder is also now red color. Or you can make it whatever color. I don't use pink color for to represent girls, but yeah, do let me know your favorite color. I would love to uh, hear it from you. Alright, so you can style it in different ways, so that's another pseudo element for you. So now you get an idea of what pseudo elements are, what all it can do for us, right? Again, like I said, there are so many pseudo elements in Visual Studio Code. Just go ahead and put double quotes, double colon, and you will find a bunch of them that you can use. Okay, you can do shadow, you can do markdown, you can do a backdrop, and much more. Okay, but again, don't go for so many in one sitting as part of your learning. That's not advisable. You'll end up confused. Sometimes you'll end up losing interest. What I would suggest is take it step by step, learn few things, get handle of how they work, what are the different things, and then keep on incrementing in your learning. All right, thank you so much for joining in this episode. Please do show me some love. Please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. In the next episode, we'll learn about CSS opacity and learn different variations of it. Thank you so much for joining. See you in the next episode.